What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Kinstretch class brought to you by Stretch Effects. My name is Coach Luke, and I'll be taking you through today's 30-minute hamstring focused Kinstretch class. Today's class is going to be a little bit different, as we're not focusing on one specific joint per se, but more so on the hamstring muscle group itself. So, hamstrings is a very common area that you hear a lot about, with people saying they're tight, or they foam roll it more, or they need to do more kind of passive inputs to get more range of motion of the hamstrings. And although those passive inputs will allow you to get more temporary range of motion, to create more hamstring mobility, to create strength at longer ranges of motion, you need to strengthen the hamstring as a whole. So not only stretching and strengthening, but also strengthening from its short position as well. So really what we're going to be looking at today is hamstring extension and hamstring flexion. So we're going to do tails and rails, and we'll do some holds from flexion, and then we're going to just work on creating an overall better hamstring function from both ends. So we're going to start with sideline hip cars, and then we're going to go into some knee cars. Hamstring flexion, of course, takes a lot of knee flexion as well to do so. So we're going to make sure the knees are nice and warmed up, and then from there we'll get right into our tails and rails work. So we're going to lay on the side. We're going to do some sideline hip cars. If you have a block, you can use it as your pillow. Take the other block if you have two. You can hold it right out front. If you have one, use it as a pillow. Clasp your hands together, so you just got a nice base of support here. Think lower body, the lower part of the body is pressing into the floor, so the right leg presses down, core is nice and engaged. Let's work two sideline left hip cars here, so we'll go from flexion, abduction, internal rotation, and extension. Come around, and reverse, over the top, nice and slow, and come through. Let's go back one more rep. Abduction, rotate that hip, come all the way around. One more time. Extend, over, and through. Switch sides. Two on the right hip. Make sure that body stays nice and tight. Left arm, left leg, press down to the floor for some stability. Make sure we keep those ribs down, we keep that good intra-abdominal pressure. So as we flex or extend, we're not moving through the spine, and everything just stays up nice and tight. That's sort of using this block just to help give us more upper body stability, so we can get as much out of that lower body as possible. Rotation there, heel goes back, through, and reverse. Core is engaged, heel back, over the top. Nice and slow. Come down. One more time here. Hip flexion, abduction, rotation, move around, and reverse, extend, come over, sit nice and warmed up, ready to get to work. Very good. From there, we'll come block to the side. We're going to get into some knee cars. So for the knee cars, we're going to work not only internal external rotation, but we'll work some flexion and extension as well. So let's go to the left knee, take the left arm under that left leg, put that femur, upper leg in a headlock, and then we're just going to take left arm to right bicep, right hand right over the femur. So we're locked in, so we know all the rotation we're getting is from the tibia and not from the femur itself. So we're here, hooked. Now we're just going to start just capsule cars, so heels in the floor. And I just want to work external tibial rotation, go back to neutral, and then internal tibial rotation. So you can see as I rotate here, it's the spine, I call it the tibia, rotating in. You want to take this hand here, you can step up here and rotate out. So we're just trying to get some motion through that knee, right there. And now we're just leaning back just a little bit, just lift the foot off the floor. So now we're going to externally rotate, extend, internally rotate, and flex. Externally rotate, extend, internally rotate, flex. As you flex, continue to try to get more internal rotation. The more extended you are, the harder it's going to be to internally externally rotate. So make sure as we go out, if you have the mobility, don't block out, because you won't be able to rotate the tibia from there. So you want to stop just short of that. Rotate, flex, internally rotate, extend, externally rotate, and flex. So we're just getting internal rotation. Once you get the capsular pars from there, you can do that as well. Just getting that knee warmed up. So from there, other arm, hook with the right arm under, grab the bicep with the right arm, left hand can go to right over the femur, right over the knee. And we'll just go heel to the floor to start. External rotation, internal rotation. Just like normal capsule cars, don't just stay in the middle, don't just stay here, but actually try to push and continue pushing into the boundary. Get a little bit more, come back to the center, internally rotate, push into that boundary, try to get a little bit more. And 2 more there. We usually have most, 99% of people have more external tibial rotation than they do internal. It's completely normal. Push out. Push in. Switch as much there as possible. From there, if you want to grab the bicep, if you want to grab the tibia, you can hook here. Stay here, it's up to you. Push out and rotate, stand, internal, flex. Rotate, extend, internal, flex. If you don't need the arm, you can just here, rotate, down. Last one, internal, extend, rotate, and flex. Capsular cars, multiple positions. It's just good. Get rotation in, and the more of those you can do, the better. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into our hamstring work. So we're going to start with a half kneeling position. I recommend you hold on to something. So if you have like dowels would be good for this one here. So you can grab them on the floor, create some upper body tension. If not, it's totally okay. You can use a chair. I'm going to use this wall here as my point of stability. I'm going to go inside leg down, outside leg will be up. So I want this leg straight out in front of me with a slight knee bend, right? So I don't want to be here, but I don't want to be locked out, right? So slightly bend. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a stretch in my hamstring group by arching my lower back, and it's called anteriorly tilting my pelvis, right? So imagine if my pelvis was a bucket of water, posterior tilting, I would be dumping that bucket backwards. Anteriorly tilting, I'm dumping that bucket out forward. So I'm trying to lift my tailbone, like I'm doing the cat-cow, doing the cat part of the cat-cow stretch, right? And then from there, or I should say cow part of the cat-cow stretch. And then I'm trying to lift my chest, I'm trying to get a nice arch here. From there, that will increase my stretch, right? Because what's happening now, right, is it's like as I extend through my lower back, as I lift my tailbone, I'm creating more tension in that hamstring, right? Because they're all connected, of course, right? So I'm not necessarily trying to get lower, I'm trying to get more tension in the hamstring by getting more anterior tilt, by keeping that hip tall, and the chest tall, and getting a good stretch through the hamstrings there. Okay, so I'm just going to hang out there, just like normal paddles and rails. I'm going to hang out here for about 2 minutes. Okay? So this would be working on lengthening the hip flexor, right? Not necessarily the muscle itself, but working at increasing strength over greater than length, right? So this is going to allow us to not only increase hamstring quote-unquote flexibility, but the mobility of our hamstrings, because now we're getting stronger, creating strength at a greater range of motion. Okay, so we're just going to continue to breathe here, keep that slight bend in the knee, make sure we're not locking out, make sure we're not kind of messing with that nerve that can get kind of funky feeling. So just keep the knee slightly bent, need to increase that stretch, stick that butt out more, keep getting more here, keep that chest tall, and then you can, if you're very mobile, you can start to bring that chest lower towards the floor, but make sure you got some points of stability here. Definitely don't want to lose our balance in a stretch position like this. Okay, so keep breathing. So we're just going for another minute or so. Our pails, crushing my heel towards the floor, but not just straight down. I'm almost down and in, like I'm trying to hook my heel towards my body. That will give it that kind of hamstring curl type tension. So not just straight down, but down and towards you to get that contraction here, as if I was trying to flex my knee towards me or flex my heel towards me. I'm going to build that up for 10, so start slow when you start that contraction, and then I'm going to go max that for 10. And then my rails, I'm going to keep this slightly bend, but I'm switching directions. So instead of going down and in, I'm trying to take that foot up into the air. Because of the balance, because of how we're positioned, you're not going to be able to get that foot off the ground. It's not the goal. goal is to try to contract this side of the joint as much as possible. So we go from crushing down to trying to lift up. So that's trying to get more tension on the top side of the body, which actually will increase this stretch, because now it's as if I was trying to get it higher up in the air, which would of course increase the stretch, okay? So we're gonna do 2 rounds of that, and then we're gonna switch sides, okay? So lift the chest, get that butt out, get as much stretch as you possibly can. Take a breath in, and start driving down, and trying to curl that foot in. We're at 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50, 60, contract all this right here, 70, 80, 90, and 100% effort, crush down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails, try to lift that leg, traction all through here, good, keep going, keep going, keep going, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Sink into that stretch deeper. If you got 2 things you can hold on, like another chair, you can go from there. That'll just give you more stability and allow you to get deeper into that stretch position. Keep breathing, keep stretching, keep trying to stick that butt out. And this is what's going to get us more stretch, more tension on that hamstring. Trying to get more, as much stretch as we can get into. Just relax and breathe. Okay, one more round here. So again, pails down and in, rails, and trying to lift that leg up in the air, or lift, contracting hard at the hip flexors, hip flexor, quad muscle here. Okay, with those rails, the beauty of it is we're training both sides of that joint, so not only getting longer, but also the what we call the aggressive angle, or the short side, which is what we need for true hamstring function. Okay, let's take a breath in one more time. Brace, and start pressing down and trying to curl that heel in towards the body. 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and max effort, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep that back arch, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. Max effort, max effort, max effort. Use those hip flexors. Good. Try to get that foot light in that scale. Keep that tailbone tall, chest tall. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Give that hamstring a break. And switch sides. Very nice. Have a dent in your floor from driving that heel down, right? Okay, let's go switch sides. 2-minute stretch here again. Big tall chest, big tall tailbone, slight bend in that knee. If you want to tuck that toe under, you can. If not, if it's more comfortable than you not to, that is okay as well. Really what we're focusing on are these hamstrings here. Okay, just continue to breathe. Nice tall chest. Just like our external rotation 90-90, we're trying to keep a nice tall belly button, nice tall chest, nice tall tailbone. Increasing that tension will increase the tension in the hamstrings here. So as we lift the tailbone, as we lift the pelvis, that's going to pull on these hamstring muscles here, creating more of a stretch. If you want to just do a stretch out the support, that is okay, but for the pails and rails, one wall to your side is great. Dowels out in front, 2 tables, 2 chairs is even better, so you can create more stability and create more tension for your pails and rails. Okay, so we're just here, continue to breathe, keep that knee slightly bent, keep that tailbone tall. So 2 rounds of pails and rails here. Exhale, try to get that tailbone higher, try to arch that back a little more, try to keep that chest taller, get as much stretch as you possibly can through the hamstrings. Okay, let's take one more big deep breath. Belly breath, right? In for 4 or 5, out for 8 to 10 here. Belly collapses on the way down. More you can relax, the slower you can exhale, more your body's going to give you, the more your brain will relax, so it'll allow you deeper into that range of motion. Okay, take a breath in, brace that core, get that deep stretch, and start dropping down to the floor, building that contraction up. 10%, 20%, 30%, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100% effort. Crush down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Get light on that heel. Imagine you got a scale under your heel. You're trying to lift that leg up more, keep that tailbone tall, but just work the hip flexors, work those quads. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Oh yeah. You may notice one side is easier than the other, one side is harder than the other. My left hamstring is definitely feeling it more on the side. That is completely normal. Our bodies are not as asymmetric or as symmetric as we like them to be, very asymmetric. So it's all about working to close that gap and maximize what you have at each joint position, right? So again, more stability you can create, the better. So if you have 2 tables, 2 dowels, anything to give you more stability here or to the sides, it's going to allow you to get more tension, more stretch in these positions here. It's a single half knee extended position, it's fairly unstable. So we just want to make sure you're as stable as possible to mitigate any potential risk of falling, which then again could cause it, right? So from here, we're going to go one more time. So lift that tailbone, stay deep in that stretch. If you're really mobile, you can start to bring that chest forward as long as you keep a nice tall tailbone. And let's start driving down. We got set number 2. And 20%, 30, 40, 50. Trying to curl that heel towards you. 60, 70, 80, 90, and max effort, crush down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Get light in that heel. Don't get the heel off the ground because the body positions has to change. Just really focus on contracting here as much as possible. Trying to drive that foot up into the air. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. As you relax, lift that tailbone a little bit more so you get more stretch in those hamstrings. Big breath and relax. Very nice. Good. From there, we're going to go to sideline position. So we just work the left hamstring. So let's lay it on our left side. We're going to work some right leg hip, or knee flexion, which is we call it short hamstring or short knee angle. Okay, so from here, make sure body's in a nice straight line. Make sure this femur is right over the other femur, right? So the legs are stacked. You can grab the ankle, you can grab the top of your foot. You have a block. Use the block as a pillow. Rest your head. On this position here, I'm just giving a good stretch to the quads. If you've done our knee focused class, this one should look familiar. So you can go arm out front for stability, whatever you need. Make sure those ribs are down. Make sure you're not getting that by arching the lower back. So in this case, I just want to make sure the core stays engaged. If I'm doing a core exercise, right, or a dead bug or a plank or anything like that, make sure I'm nice and straight from my left heel all the way to my left shoulder. You want to take this hand to the side, you can take it up front, you can do that as well. What we're going to be doing is pillows and rails in this position, which again is similar to our knee pillows and rails that we've done before. We're working knee flexion, but what we need for knee flexion is good short hamstring strength, right? So what we're going to be doing is right now just a passive stretch, stretching the quads. We're going to do a pelvis contraction, which is extending my knee into my hand that's supporting, right? So we do this motion. So that's our pails. I'm building that up for 10, holding a max effort contraction for 10, and then my rails contraction is keeping my hand, my top hand where it is, but I'm trying to contract that hamstring as tight as possible to pull my foot or pull my heel closer to that right butt cheek. Okay, so same side contraction to really create as much tension in the short angle of knee flexion, which is our short hamstring, right? So we got long earlier with the pillars and rails, now we're gonna get short. So if you go from here, make sure your body stays nice and tight. Straight line of the body, make sure you're right over that left hip. Right knee is in flexion. Let's take a breath in. Brace that core and then slowly start driving foot into hand. Here we're extending that knee, building that up. We're at 30, 40, 50. Make sure you got a good grip on that ankle. 60, 70, 80, 90, and max effort. Crush together, hand to foot, foot to hand. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rails, try to pull that leg off of that hand. Hand stays still. Just really focus on contracting that hamstring as much as possible. Squeeze that heel towards that butt cheek. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. We got one more round there. Whew. If that hamstring wasn't feeling it was going to cramp up on you there, means you've either done this a lot, you got really good, strong, short hamstring flexors or knee flexors, or you weren't squeezing tight enough, right? So in the second round, really work on creating as much tension in that rails contraction. Really try to see if you can touch your right heel towards your right butt cheek. That would be a really strong contraction of those hamstrings, and that would definitely bode well for your long-term, not only knee health, but lower body health in general. Okay, let's go one more time. You just take a breath in, brace that core, and then slowly start driving out, foot into hand, and into foot. 10, 9, 8, build it up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max effort. 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Pull that knee, pull that hamstring, squeeze, 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 heel towards butt. Keep going, keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Keep going, squeeze, squeeze, everything you got, everything you got. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Out of that slowly. Very nice. Put some holds there in a bit. Let's go switch to the left side. We'll go left. Tails and rails here. So arms out front. Grab the ankle. Top of the foot, make sure the legs are stacked, body's tight, core's engaged. I'm not arching to get there, make sure everything is just stacked over each other. Grab that ankle and breathe. So we're going to work the quad stretch here, because that's the position that we're in to get more flexion, but again, just like we talked about earlier, the joints need to have strength on both sides of the joint, right? So we're not only working the extension strength, but also the flexion, and by flexion strength, that's how we improve our hamstring. That's our hamstring. One of the roles of the hamstring. So here, make sure just like the sleeper, shoulders are stacked. This position here, make sure you have a good grip on that ankle. Get ready for your pills and rails. Let's take a breath in. Start driving out. Build that contraction up 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and max effort. Squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Try to pull. Left heel, left butt cheek. Keep crushing, keep crushing, keep crushing, keep crushing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Release the hand position if you need to. Breathe. Maybe one more set there. Take about 30 seconds. As you relax out of that rails contraction, you may notice you got a little bit more stretch, got a little bit more deflection. That is good. Make sure there's no pain, no pinching. We're not going to or through any pain here. So if there is, come out of that where you can comfortably contract from with no pain, or you can just wait for our next exercise we're going to do. I'm working on keeping this knee flexion here as we hold. Okay, so one more time. So breath in, brace, and slowly start driving out into that top hand. 10, 9, good luck. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max effort. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Now try to pull that left heel towards the left butt cheek. Make that hamstring cramp. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Squeeze everything you got. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Ooh, yeah, the hamstring should be feeling nice by now. Very good. Okay. Whew. So let's come up here. So we just work my left hamstring. So we move that hamstring a little bit of a break. From there, I'm going to go up into back to my single knee position that I did earlier in the class. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold that knee in this position here. And then I'm going to actively, so I'm going to make sure I'm not arching like this, right? So make sure I'm actively nice and tucked. I'm going to contract, squeeze my heel towards my butt, and then I'm just going to release. I'm going to try not to lose that knee flexion, right? So I'm trying to hold that, actively hold that heel as close to my butt as I possibly can with minimal drop. There will be some, that's totally okay. That's just the difference of your active and passive range, and that's totally normal. You're always going to have more passive than active, but it's always about minimizing that as much as you can, because that's going to help minimize injury, right? So if you need to, like I'm about to, you can tuck your mat under to give you a little bit more padding, or if you have a pillow, if you have anything that you can give yourself a little bit more padding under that knee, because that's quite a brutal feeling here. So we're going to go 5-second holds. We'll switch sides, 5-second holds, and we are done for the day. Okay? So make sure we're here, make sure your body's nice and tight. Grab that foot. So again, you're going to want to do this to grab the foot. So make sure after you grab the foot, tuck the tailbone, ribs are down. Get a good contraction, squeeze that heel towards that butt, and release slowly and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab, back up, tuck, contract, squeeze, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab it, that is 2. Tuck, and squeeze, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more here. Everything you got. Okay, now a little bit further. Good. Squeeze and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one here. Grab that foot, grab that ankle, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the glute, squeeze that knee, squeeze the hamstring, and release and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just bring it down slowly to the floor. Awesome, and we'll switch sides. 5 reps on this side and call it a day. So just there, grab that foot, nice and tucked, squeeze that glute, squeeze that heel towards the butt, get a good contraction, brace, full body contraction, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. Good stability with that rest of that body. Contract. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, and squeeze and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Ooh, a little harder on my left side, it's normal. Okay, and squeeze, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, last one. 5-second hold, and fail slow. Tuck the tailbone, brace the core, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, slow, and release. Very happy that I added the double cushion under the knee. Again, that was hamstring focused Kinstretch class today, so if you've never done 30 minutes of direct hamstring work, that should be quite a wake-up call for your training. That would be something I definitely recommend you add. Not only the long hip flexor stretch, which most people think about when they need longer, better, healthier hamstring, sorry. But what we want to make sure we're doing is we're getting the long hamstring stretch from that half-moving position, and then we're also strengthening the hamstrings from the short position, which today we use the sideline quad stretch. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but that was a good one to do when you have minimal equipment. Work on those holds that we just worked on. Those are quite a brutal experience if you've never done it before, so just continue to practice them. Try to close down the angle of that knee as you go. So again, thank you for joining me in today's 30-minute hamstring focused Kinstretch class. I hope to see you at the next one.